Well, we're continuing our awesome trip to Greece through Gate 1 Travel with our Day 4 and Day 5 adventures. And we started off Day 4 with another fabulous breakfast buffet. They're really great about giving us really good food in the morning. And then this was mainly a travel day. We had to be on the bus by 8:15 and we just started traveling. But don't worry, we are going to make a couple stops. They treat us to a couple adventures and then, of course, back on the bus. Now, our first comfort stop was at this place called Corinth Canal. Now, this canal was definitely worth stopping to see. It was huge, it was very deep, it was massive, and it's something you definitely wouldn't want to fall off of. But believe it or not, they actually had a bungee jumping experience you could do there for people that are braver than I am. Now here's a couple pictures of our group in front of the canal. And notice no one has any bungee jumping tickets in their hand. We couldn't talk anybody in our group into doing it. Now this is actually the bungee jumping platform that's located right under the bridge. And then we popped into the visitor center to look around. And again, they gave us a comfort stop there, which is usually at a convenience store type of place where you can stop and get treats and Cokes or waters and little happies. And then our very first stop of the day was to Mycenae, which is the heartland of Greek mythology. We were able to visit what they call the Acropolis of Mycenae. Now, it's always really cool to see ancient ruins, and the scenery there was just breathtaking. It was really, really pretty. But this adventure did become a little bit long, and it was a lot of hiking involved. Now, check out how pretty this scenery is. We went exactly at the right time of the year where the grass was growing and the wildflowers were starting to bloom. So here are just a couple more pictures of our fun group taking pictures in front of all these pretty sights. And like I said in my previous videos, that Greece has tons of dogs and cats everywhere. And here we saw a mountain dog just having a good old time. And then one of the cats just sneaking a drink of water. And then it was time to jump back on the bus real quick. And the bus took us about 2 minutes away to the next stop, which was the tomb of Atreus. We were actually able to walk into the entrance and see the actual inside of the tomb. After we left Mycenae, we went to Nephelio to get lunch. This was a really cute little town, and right when you got off the bus, you could see a castle on top of the hill, and they let us off right at the water. It was crystal blue, and you could see little fish swimming right at the dock. Well, the tour took us down a couple side streets, and there were a lot of souvenir shops, and then we were able to pick where we wanted to go to lunch. We could go to lunch with a tour guide to a fish restaurant that he recommended, or you could go to one of your own choosing. So we decided to go to one on the main square where we could all get different types of food. They had the best French fries there, and the people at our table, we got burgers, pizza, and pork belly. And then we popped in and out of a bunch of little souvenir shops, seeing what the local shops had. And we just bought a couple little trinkets. And in here they had a lot of these really cute cats, since there are cats everywhere. Started to get one, but did not. And then they had these cute little donkeys as well. And then this is what the area looked like on the outside. This is where our bus let us off. You see how pretty it is? It's right at the water. And if you look off in the distance, you can see they have little islands, and they had these small castles on the islands. And then it was time to jump back on the bus, and of course we made another comfort stop, and it had these really cute ceramic dogs, so I just videotaped some of that. Then they had some that were like super size that were cool, and of course we take pictures of every photo op we find. Now our next stop was at a local shop that specialized in a lot of olives and olive oil. So usually Gate 1 has partnerships with some of these businesses, and this is one of those. So you stopped and they're hoping you'll buy their products, but they had a lot of great stuff. They had a lot of olive oils, and they had samples of everything so you could try it out and taste it. And then they also had a big souvenir shop with all kinds of little goodies you could purchase. And then it was time to kind of wrap up the day. So we arrived at our Hotel Europa at about 6 to 6:30. And we always have dinner at 7 to 7:15 on these trips. So we got in the hotel, and this is what our room looked like. It was really a cute room. And it was almost like a split level plan where I had a little lower level with a little couch and desk at it. We really liked this room. And then we also had a small balcony you could sit out on and enjoy the weather, because we really had some great weather on this trip. And then this is what our bathroom looked like, and luckily our bathroom was a lot bigger than that last hotel. Our shower was very spacious. And then after we got settled into our room, it was already time to go upstairs for the dinner buffet. Well, the restaurant was beautiful, and it had tons of selections, lots of desserts, and lots of good food. You never know with the dinner buffets if it's a hit or miss, but this one was definitely a hit. Some really great selections. Well, we had a great time at dinner with a lot of old and new friends. And then right after dinner, it was time to go back to the room and get ready for the next day. Now on these trips, like they say, it's more of a tour than a vacation because it's very busy. It's a very hectic schedule, but it's kind of fun to keep changing hotels and getting a little taste of everything. Now this was our breakfast the next morning. I love this part where they had all the different jams and marmalades you could try, and they had these little fried fritters you could spread them on, and it's really good breakfast to start the day out. Like I said in the previous video, you can really fill up on breakfast and not even be hungry for lunch. They even had real honeycomb you could get a piece of. And this is what the pool area looked like at the hotel. It was a little too cold to get in the pool, but it was pretty to see. And we saw these all along the side of the road. Some were simple and some were very elaborate, but these were memorial houses to kind of memorialize someone that had passed away in a car accident. Now our morning visit was to the archaeological site of Olympia, including the sanctuary of the Olympian Zeus and the ancient stadium where the Olympic Games were first held in 776 BC. Now it was fun to visit somewhere like this that was full of ancient ruins and history, and one of our travel mates also told me that she felt the former energy of this place. Now, while we were there, one of our travel mates did get an alert on her cell phone that we actually had an earthquake about 30 miles from here, but we didn't feel anything, and our tour guide actually got a call from the home office to make sure everybody was all right. Now, while we were there, a bunch of young guys were also there that got to do a fun run on the original Olympic Stadium grounds. So we stayed and watched that a couple seconds, and then we watched the grand prize winner receive his olive branch crown. And then it was time to go to the Museum of Olympia right after we had a small little break. And here you can see many artifacts from throughout the centuries from Olympia. And then it was time to leave the museum, and we walked across a little bridge to a little souvenir type of shop where they said they had a treat for us. And when we got there, it was a tasting of pistachio butter and some olives. And then we went to the tourist club. Now this was a surprise our tour guide Yanni had for us. He kept bragging throughout the few days before that he had something special for us. So we went into this place and it was pretty cool because we had a small cooking class for a lot of our tour mates. And here you can see Ray got to be one of the cooks. Now Ray and this first group of cooks got to make tzatziki, which is the traditional Greek dip. Now our friend Jane was chosen to be in the second group of cooks where she got to make fried appetizers made with zucchini. And then Ray was chosen to be in the third and final set of cooks where he made terra pita, which was actually a fried cheese pie. And then after all the cooking demonstrations, they laid out a spectacular buffet feast for everyone to enjoy.
Thank you.
Now after lunch was over, they surprised us with Greek dancers, and they did a quick demonstration for everyone. And then a lot of people on our tour were able to participate in learning the traditional Greek dances. Now this part of the demonstration was pretty cool where they asked just the men to stay. And when the men were learning their dance, the women would come and smash a plate on the floor. And then it was time to leave the restaurant, so we jumped back on the bus and we were able to cross the Corinth Strait over this beautiful cabled bridge. Now, on our route to Delphi, we had a quick stop at Naupactus, which our tour guide offered us a free coffee or a free cherry drink. That was pretty good. Now, this stop was right at the water, so we could get out and kind of see everything and feel the breeze and just take in the beauty. And then it was time to get back on the bus, and this was the prettiest scenery we have seen so far. We were going up the coastal roads to get to Delphi, and everything was so beautiful. Our bus driver did an amazing job navigating these windy, curvy roads going up the mountain. And if you look up here on the far right, that's the town of Delphi we're trying to reach. So when we finally got there, our bus driver had to back up to get into the hotel because it's so tight. But here's our hotel. It's a very, very quaint hotel. It's very pretty. And this is what our room looked like. The room was kind of average, but the best part of this hotel was the view. We will take a decent room to get a view like this any day of the week. Well, here I am sitting out on our little balcony, and you see behind me we have this amazing view. This is absolutely beautiful, and this is the village of Delphi. Now, our normal dinner time is about 7 to 7:15 on these tours. So we went downstairs to their dining room, and it wasn't your typical buffet style. They brought like a big plate of salad for the table to share, and then they would come out with these giant platters that they would serve you from. We loved how this was a family-run business, and they even had their young son here helping serve all the food. Everything was delicious, and it was a fun experience. So after dinner, we decided to go explore the town just a little bit. They told us all the stores stayed open until 10 p.m. So we just decided to go look around and see what the town had to offer. So we actually found just a couple of souvenir shops that were still open, and they had some really unique items, and we had fun exploring it. But on the next day, we're going to go explore the archaeological sites of Delphi. So this concluded day 5 of our trip, and we still have a little more than halfway to go. We still have about 2 more days of fun stops, and then we have a 4-day cruise around the Greek islands at the end. Now they give us an itinerary to follow each day that they post, and we are just having a great time. So thank you so much for watching, and just keep following our journey if you'd like to see a little bit more of Greece.